Women are catcalling you and they hit you with like a, where your smile? Where your smile at? I haven't experienced joy. That little blue on vacation from Inside Out, but when she locks in some OT hours, I will crack you a pearly white, I swear.
You know, if you wasn't with your man, I'd arrest you right here, right now.
Are you recording?
No, he's not. He just got the flash on so we can see.
You know I'm old enough to be your mother, right?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't care about none of that.
Boy, I need you to cut it out.
Let me put these cuffs on you real quick if you know what I mean. What you trying to do?
Yeah,
What you trying?
hair pulled, all that, yeah.
You really can't count on a lot of these women to be on their worst behavior.
You could be losing your mind, going through a midlife crisis, and a man will have the audacity to be like, send me a picture of you.
I would like to start a petition for it to be illegal for boys to give forehead kisses if they don't have full intentions on marrying you. Honestly, criminal behavior.
And did dating become men versus women? Like, I thought it was supposed to be fun. I posted a video about how guys don't really come up to girls anymore in bars. 80% of the comments were like angry men. And they're angry at women. Most of all the men are saying that women have put men down so much for trying to talk to them or like calling them a creep. And they're just like, I'm not gonna go up to women anymore. And this comment especially, we will not be fluffing your egos. That just feels like you hate women. I don't know, like, flirting and going out, it's not that serious. It's a little scary that so many guys think this way when majority of my friends, who are all like normal 25-year-old women, none of us are putting guys down if they come up to us. If anything, we're like, oh my god, yay, but maybe he's just like not our type, or maybe, I don't know, there's something we learn about him that just doesn't fit what we're looking for. But in some way the narrative got twisted that they should almost like hate women. It's really fascinating and it's like really worrying to me. But at the same time, I know a lot of guys that don't think like that, and it's TikTok and the internet, so I always take everything with a grain of salt. But how did that happen? Like, how did we get here?
I think you missed it. I think it went right over your head from your last video. So in her last video, she was saying we spent the night out, and really it was 5 of us and only one dude came up to us, and he was a pilot, but he had a whole bunch of red flags. Of course he did. And so men were obviously in the comments saying things like, nobody is ever enough. And then you see this one, we will not be fluffing your egos. And now she's upset about it and having to make a follow-up video to that. And unfortunately, the sentiment is still lost on modern women today because they don't really understand what men continue to tell them. They still live in this fantasy world, in this state of delusion to where they can say something, but when somebody reacts to it and they go their own way, the way that's best for them, then they get upset. Like if you tell a man not to approach in any situation, we're out at the bar, we're out at the club and we're just trying to have fun. Why would you come up to me? Why would you approach me? And then you're shocked to realize that a man doesn't approach you. Only one man had the guts to come up. Well, good for him. But the rest of the guys, they don't want to be involved in that. And then you're shocked as to why. That's not going to be fun for most men. And that's when it became, quote unquote, this men versus women, because modern women have pitted themselves. They have stood against men for so long that men are saying, you know what? If you want to do that, if you want to play that game, then it's time for us to take care of ourselves and defend ourselves. And once again, you're still missing the whole entire point of why men do this. They didn't just start doing it on their own. It's because you kept on saying, it's creepy for you to come up to me and talk to me. Stop doing that. I hate that. Does that make sense?
I swear, the frustrating thing about being a woman who wants to settle down, wants to get married, wants like a cute life. I don't need male validation. I just need like the attention from the one that I want. And the amount that don't have balls, don't have testicles, can't communicate for sure, don't know how to ask you on a date, or are just plain afraid to approach you. Like where are the men? Where are the actual men? Like, I shouldn't have to do the work for both of us. I shouldn't have to keep the conversation going for the both of us. Like, end rant.
Exactly my point. You didn't have to go too far to see what men have been talking about and why you got the response that you did. Can't make it up.
Who's paying the rent? Who's paying the gas? Who's paying the electric? So, on everything. Yeah, okay. Pretty much. Yeah. And all the bills are split 50-50. Yes, ma'am. Welcome to the Real Cost.
I literally just made a video on this topic, but this is a perfect example of my fact that women wonder why men aren't viewing women as equals, and then look at the standards that they're holding themselves to. Everybody commenting, oh, may this love never find me. He found his forever roommate 50-50 and he earns more? This is my whole entire point with these girls. They put themselves below men by saying a man is supposed to be paying for things for them, providing them with things, almost as if like this is a parent and a child relationship. Then they're shocked and their mind is blown when, you know, the current election didn't go their way and they're like, wow, men aren't viewing women at the same level that they view other men. But you guys hold yourself to a lower standard than men. It's 1,000% true, because to the girl who commented that comment that said 50-50 and he makes more money, in what scenario if the girl said the opposite? Let's say the girl said, oh, I make $200,000 a year, he only makes 70. You wouldn't have commented and say, what the heck, why is he paying for half the rent if she makes more money than him? You would still think that man is supposed to be paying for all of the rent, even though she makes more money than him. This weird thing that girls do where they like to go infantilize themselves, make themselves seem so incredibly incapable of taking care of themselves, but at the same time, they want to have the same level of respect, overall life experience for what happens for a guy. Understand, by insinuating that a man is supposed to be paying for your rent and all these things, and if he doesn't, he's a terrible boyfriend, you're putting yourself below a man, because the only relationship that is similar to a parent and a child, that is the relationship that is similar to somebody who needs to be provided for, and if they don't, then they're not doing their job. And it's so true. This guy literally points out the same thing. These girls complaining, oh my God, she still has to go 50-50. You do understand if he didn't exist, she would have to go 100%. So 50-50 is still a pretty good deal. You're still getting a 50% discount. I do hope and believe that 99% of these girls don't actually believe the things that they're saying, but I just feel like social media has brainwashed them to think that if they're not getting their bills paid for, a man isn't paying for literally everything, that somehow they've settled, that, you know, they have a bad boyfriend. Even though deep down they know they're perfectly content and they're honestly perfectly happy in the relationship, they're just almost like embarrassed to admit when they have a friend whose boyfriend pays for vacations, their rent, their car payment. They're like afraid to admit that their boyfriend's just a normal guy. It reminds me of when I was a kid and I had friends who had very wealthy parents and they would get these very extravagant gifts for their birthday. And then like my birthday would come up and I would get something, you know, very nice, but it was not very expensive. And my friends would insinuate that my parents just don't like me enough, or his parents are better than mine because his parents got him a more expensive thing. It's like this weird thing where girls, I think, are just too afraid to admit that they're perfectly happy, but no, their boyfriend is treating them like an equal human being. Your boyfriend who's paying for everything needs to pay your rent, pay your bills, do this for you. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to live on your own. That boyfriend looks at you as somebody who's inferior to him, who cannot live without him, somebody who needs to be provided for. A word for that would be a child. Said it 1,000 times in every relationship that I've been in. I've never gone 50-50. I was never a 50-50 guy, but I would absolutely cringe my brain out if a girl ever acted like the girls in the comment section being like, oh my God, may this love never find me. Oh, trust me, guys. It won't find you. My opinion, but hey, what do you think?
Pretty much this when I commented on it. It's one thing to say, okay, he's paying the bills and he's taking care of that financially, and I'm contributing to our partnership, our relationship in this way. But there's a lot of these modern women that don't be contributing anything. And they literally say, I'm not going to be contributing anything. When a man asks you, what is it that you're doing? Well, what are you going to be doing in the relationship? Oh, nothing. Funny enough, that's what a child does. Nothing. But a child actually does more a lot of times, because they'll actually, through all of their griping, moaning, and complaining, show you a little bit of love. But modern women don't even do that. Not really. And a lot of times when they do, they show it begrudgingly. Why would a man want to be with somebody like that? I think, honestly, a lot of modern women should take stock of who they are inside and figure out, forget who I want to be with. Would somebody want to be with me? But of course not, because that would be taking accountability, and that would mean developing self-awareness.